Apple doesn't actually make your iPhone. They design it, they market it, they charge a fortune for it. But the brain inside, they can't build it themselves. Same with NVIDIA. Same with AMD. Even Intel now. Almost every big tech company is quietly standing in line for one thing: factory time at TSMC. They outsourced reality itself. The 1987 crazy bet. Back in the 1980s, Intel was walking around like they owned the future. Real men have fabs, they said. Manufacturing was low-margin grunt work. Then 56-year-old Morris Chang shows up with a ridiculous idea. I'll build chips for everyone and compete with no one. Pure play foundry. No own products. No glory. Just factories. The industry laughed. A business for people with zero ambition. 40 years later, today those same giants stand in Chang's lobby with suitcases of cash, negotiating for wafer allocation like it's the last oxygen on Earth. He didn't build a better chip. He built the neutral ground where Apple and NVIDIA hand over their most secret blueprints, knowing the manufacturer will never stab them in the back. TSMC now controls over 60% of the global foundry market and nearly 90% of the leading-edge nodes that actually matter. The religion of yield. A TSMC fab is cleaner than any operating room. Fewer than 10 dust particles per cubic meter. Engineers wear bunny suits so their own dead skin doesn't destroy a wafer worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. One sneeze, one vibration, millions gone. Anyone can make one perfect chip in a lab. That's easy. Making billions? On schedule? Without exploding costs? That's the entire game. The resource monster. TSMC eats 7% of Taiwan's entire electricity, 200,000 tons of water every single day. During the 2021 drought, the government cut water to farmers so the fabs wouldn't stop. Rice became optional. Transistors became national survival. The Intel humiliation. Intel once ruled the world. They looked at TSMC like the help. When Apple asked for the first iPhone chip, Intel said no. Not enough volume. TSMC took the deal, used Apple's money to master the learning curve, and kept going. By 2024, the former emperor of Silicon was begging the company it once mocked to build its most advanced chips. That's not a comeback story. That's a coronation. Scarcity economics. A new leading-edge fab costs $20–30 billion. TSMC doesn't pay at all. Apple and NVIDIA wire billions years in advance just to get in the queue. They don't just buy chips. They co-finance the monopoly that owns them. Customers fund the very trap that binds them. Pricing is no longer negotiated. It is accepted. The service and equipment moet. Once the machines are in, TSMC owns you for life. Their service and upgrade business delivers higher margins than selling new machines. Competitors can buy the same $350 million ASML tools, but they don't have the decades of tacit knowledge to make them actually work at scale. You can buy the piano. You can't buy the pianist who practiced for 40 years. The silicon shield. The whole operation sits 180 kilometers from China. Destroy those fabs, and the global economy has a heart attack, including China's own tech exports. This isn't protection based on values. This is cold addiction. Attacking Taiwan is industrial suicide when your entire military and economy run on the same chips. The Arizona comedy. America threw tens of billions at TSMC to build fabs in Arizona. On paper, it looked easy. In reality, culture shock. In Taiwan, a machine breaks at 3 a.m. Team of PhDs shows up in 20 minutes. In Arizona, people have work-life balance. You can copy the building. You can't copy 40 years of obsessive culture where 99.9% precision is the baseline. The economic wall. The biggest threat to TSMC isn't China. It's math. Capex is exploding. $52–56 billion planned for 2026 alone. When a single fab costs $30 billion and keeps getting more expensive, even Apple starts sweating. Alternatives like Canon's nano imprint are coming, but they're still far behind at the absolute frontier. Moore's law might not die from physics. It might die from bankruptcy. The bottleneck truth. NVIDIA owns the hype. Apple owns the consumer. TSMC owns the physical reality. They own the bottleneck. And in this economy, the bottleneck always wins. The quiet empire. The modern world thinks software runs everything. But software is useless without fabs. And almost all advanced fabs lead back to one company on a subtropical island. Tsmc didn't win by being famous. They won by becoming unavoidable. Today that factory quietly decides how fast the future actually arrives. This is Broke Genius. See you in the next one.